The most surprising outcome on Sunday in Week 1 in the NFL was the Jacksonville Jaguars' thrashing of the Houston Texans on the road. Doug Marrone's team dominated in every phase of the game en route to a 297 victory. However, in their big divisional win, the Jaguars lost star number 1 wideout Allen Robinson for the year with a torn ACL. The 2014 draftee is in the final year of his rookie contract, meaning there's a reasonable chance Jacksonville will let him hit the open market next March. Because of that, the Jaguars will need an alpha receiver to replace him. Enter 6'4" Courtland Sutton from Southern Methodist Mustangs. The high point specialist reeled in 19 touchdowns in 2015 and 2016 and already has 5 scores through 2 games this season. Important: the 2017 NFL season is 1 week old, so we're still using Sportsline's projected win totals for the draft order for a few more weeks. Orlando Brown Jr., OT, Oklahoma Sooners. Brown Jr. has been spectacular to start the season for the Sooners. In Saturday's statement win against Ohio State Buckeyes, the 6'7" monster shut down reigning Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year Tyquan Lewis and kept Sam Hubbard and Nick Bosa at bay. Not easy tasks. His father played in the NFL for over a decade and began his pro career in Cleveland. Brown Jr. will be the ideal candidate to ultimately man the left side of the line after Joe Thomas. Sam Darnold, QB, Southern California Trojans. Brian Hoyer has become the consummate bridge quarterback, and HES currently the San Francisco 49ers starter. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch will likely dive incredibly deep on the 2018 quarterback class. Darnold is in need of some fine-tuning, mainly his elongated release, but plays with a gunslinger mentality and has the arm strength and accuracy to be effective at all levels of the field. His mobility and throw-on-the-run skills make him a tremendous fit in Shanahan's offense, which features plenty of boot action. Darnold stays in California. USATSI James Washington, WR, Oklahoma State Cowboys. The New York Jets selected a pair of receivers in the 2016 draft, but neither are as naturally talented and explosive as Washington. Some of the Oklahoma State wideouts' numbers may be inflated due to the Cowboys' spread-'em-out attack, but the 6', 200-pound pass catcher hits home runs in seemingly every game. Arden Key, LSU Tigers. Key has yet to play in 2017, so this is admittedly more projection than anyone else in this mock. Then again, as a 20-year-old in 2016, he had 12.5 tackles for loss and 11 sacks. At 6'6" and around 250 pounds, Key is a menacing figure on the edge with a springy get-off. Key had been dealing with a shoulder injury and was cleared by doctors earlier this week. If the Los Angeles Rams move on from Robert Quinn, Key will slide right into his spot on the outside. Deon Cain, WR, Clemson Tigers. What will likely be 3 years of top-end production at a powerhouse program from a top-end athlete is reason enough for Cain to land in the top 5. No, not the contested catch phenom Mike Williams was a year ago. In fact, quite the opposite. Cain flourishes down the field and after the catch. The Chicago Bears need to bolster their wideout group after the unfortunate injuries to Kevin White. Cain is too talented to keep out of our top 5. USATSI Connor Williams, OT, Texas Longhorns. Williams rebounded from by his standards a poor outing against Maryland and looked like his normal self in the huge win over San Jose State Spartans. The offensive line in front of Phillip Rivers is better now than it was a few seasons ago, but it still needs work, especially on the edges. Derwin James, Florida State Seminoles. James is a free safety, strong safety, weak side linebacker, quarterback spy, whatever you want him to be behind the defensive line. The Miami Dolphins like Kiko Alonso and will get 2017 second-round pick Raekwon McMillan back from a torn ACL next year, but that doesn't stop them from adding a true playmaker on defense. Saquon Barkley, RB, Penn State Nittany Lions. Jameis Winston could use an old-school feature back to balance out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' new-look attack. Barkley runs with power and elusiveness and can handle a large workload if needed. He'll face much fewer 8-man boxes in Tampa Bay than he does while at Penn State. Morris Hurst Jr., DT, Michigan Wolverines. Hurst doesn't mess around. He just routinely disrupts the opponent's backfield and sniffs out slow-developing screens. Halo T. Nata is in the twilight of his career. Hurst is an energetic interior defensive lineman who will make a seamless transition to Nata's position in Detroit. Courtland Sutton, WR, SMU. Allen Robinson has made a ridiculous amount of catches with a high degree of difficulty in his NFL career. If Jacksonville decides to let him walk in free agency, they'll need those game-altering receptions back. That's where Sutton comes in. He wins at the catch point with size, length, and strong hands. Sutton becomes the third receiver in our top 10. USATSI Harold Landry, Boston College Eagles. The Buffalo Bills want to get pressure without blitzing. They like their interior pass rushers and should be content with Shaq Lawson and Jerry Hughes on the edge. There's nothing wrong with adding more outside pass rush though. Landry certainly can get to the quarterback and won't have to leave the field either. He's a edge-setting force against the run too. Cameron Smith, pound, USC. The Indianapolis Colts are in dire need of a impact, sideline linebacker. Smith is quick to react to plays in front of him, fluid in coverage, and dynamic enough to make tackles near the line of scrimmage. He'll be welcomed in Indianapolis. Darius Geese, RB, LSU. Geese is a thunderous runner with a rare ability to run over linebackers and defensive backs or just effortlessly make them miss in the open field. He's done plenty of work between the tackles and has good enough long speed to hit some 30 or 40-yard runs in the NFL. Another offensive piece for Carson Wentz. Clelin Ferrell, Clemson. Ferrell is somewhat of a late bloomer while win over scouts with his hustle, angular frame, and athletic talents. He had 12 tackles for loss and 6 sacks in Clemson's national title season, and has a sack to go along with 11 tackles through 2 games this year. The New Orleans Saints really need another quality edge rusher beyond Cam Jordan. Quentin Nelson, OG, Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Denver Broncos need more stoutness on their offensive line, especially on the interior. Nelson is wide but agile and packs a powerful punch at the point of attack. He'll instantly improve Denver's run game and give its quarterback more time in the pocket. Josh Rosen, QB, UCLA Bruins. Let's say the Kirk Cousins ship sails after a disappointing 2017 campaign. That would leave quarterback as the most glaring need for the Washington Redskins offense. Rosen has squeaky clean mechanics and will bring a great deal of experience into the NFL. He has the personality for the bright lights of the NFC East. Lamar Jackson, QB, Lou Civil. Eli Manning is, well, let's say, now a liability for the New York Giants offense. In his last 10 games, 9 from 2016 and the 2017 season opener, the former number 1 overall pick has completed 63.1% of his passes at just 6.18 yards per attempt with 18 touchdowns, 11 interceptions and a passer rating of 84.3. Jackson is the antithesis of Eli. He's an excellent scrambler and has taken a step forward from the pocket. He'll instantly gel with Odell Beckham Jr. in the Big Apple. Jackson lands in New York as the heir to USATSI Tyquan Lewis, Ohio State. The Tennessee Titans need a sturdy edge rusher. Lewis has dropped into coverage on a few instances at Ohio State but has made a name for himself with a powerful bull rush and the capability to shed blockers for help against the runs. Christian Wilkins, DT, Clemson. Wilkins is a penetrating defensive tackle who can win strength battles with offensive linemen at 6'4" and 300 pounds. He hasn't gotten off to the fastest start in 2017. I'd be stunned if HES held in check for much longer. Mike McGlinchey, OT, Notre Dame. Davin Bellamy, Georgia Bulldogs' finest edge rusher, exposed McGlinchey on multiple snaps in the Bulldogs' narrow defeat of the Fighting Irish on Saturday. Typically a stalwart in pass protection, the Notre Dame left tackle struggled with Bellamy's burst and hand use. Regardless of that, McGlinchey is ready and has a first-round resume. Josh Allen, QB, Wyoming Cowboys. Andy Dalton will have to make a sizable leap forward to be worth his $16.3 million cap hit in 2018, and that type of improvement rarely happens for a quarterback in his 7th professional season. Allen isn't a perfect prospect. Far from it, actually. And some Cincinnati Bengals fans will hate this selection. But his huge arm and courage as a thrower allow him to make plays Dalton simply couldn't. Ogbonnia Okoronkwo, OLB, Oklahoma. The new Cleveland Browns regime has spent 3 early draft picks to build the club's outside pass rushing profile, and they continue to add to it with Okoronkwo, a defender who's decidedly different from Myles Garrett, Carl Nassib, and Emmanuel Ogbah. The Oklahoma product is a smaller, twitchy edge bender who hits the spin move after a handful of speed rushes. Mark Andrews, T. Oklahoma. Kyle Rudolph isn't super expensive in 2018, but the Minnesota Vikings could use another mega target down the seam, especially with Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen making plays down the sidelines. Andrews has impressive yards after catch ability. Bradley Chubb, NC State. Chubb fits the profile of defensive lineman Carolina loves, tall and strong with a quality motor. Charles Johnson is nearing the end of his underrated career, and although the 6'5", 266-pound Deshaun Hall was picked in the 2017 draft, Chubb offers more as a pass rusher. Dorian O'Daniel, OLB, Clemson. Clemson's defense has an almost unfair amount of NFL prospects on its front seven. The late riser of this group might be O'Daniel, a Sam backer who has the upper body strength to deal with offensive linemen near the line and the fluidity to chase down running backs on stretch plays. The Green Bay Packers linebacker group is in need of a player like O'Daniel, particularly with Clay Matthews already 31. Deontay Burnett, WR, USC. The Bills have revamped their receiving group, going from small and fast to tall with large with contested catch ability. But they could use a Ted Ginn Jr. type on the roster. Burnett is slight of frame but has displayed the ability to make plays in a multitude of ways for the Trojans. He has blazing downfield speed, suddenness in the open field and excellent ball skills. The Bills grabbed a quick Burnett to complement their receiver group. USATS Quinn Blanding, Virginia. Blanding can do whatever you ask of him, really, but the Cowboys would let him patrol the deep middle and create turnovers with Byron Jones now more of a slot cornerback and strong safety than anything else. Blanding sees everything happen a split second before everyone else on the field and is a sure tackler. Austin Bryant, Clemson. Remember what I said about Clemson's defense? Yeah, Bryant's really good too. At nearly 6'4" and nearly 270 pounds, he doesn't need to add any weight to his frame to play every down in the NFL. He had 4 sacks and 4 tackles for loss against Auburn. The Atlanta Falcons have speed on their defensive front. Bryant would infuse some power. Martinez Rankin, OT, Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Baltimore Ravens picked Ronnie Stanley in 2016, and he has franchise left tackle traits. Losing right tackle Ricky Wagner in free agency hurts, and Rankin is the ideal replacement. Even if Baltimore needs to kick him inside to guard on occasion, this Mississippi State alum can play there too. Malik Jefferson, Pound, Texas. Jefferson needs some gap-filling refinement, but that's not uncommon for a young linebacker. Physically, Jefferson moves like a bigger safety and hits like he has another 20 pounds on him. In this scenario, the Pittsburgh Steelers would love to pair him with Ryan Shazier to form a hyper-athletic linebacker tandem. Mitch Hyatt, Clemson. Hyatt was a highly touted high school recruit. 247 rated him as the number 2 offensive tackle in the country, and HES acclimated quickly to the ACC while at Clemson. Have you seen the Seattle Seahawks offensive line lately or, like, for the past 2 seasons? Micah Kiser, Pound, Virginia Cavaliers. 2 first-round picks from Virginia. Yep, and it would be the first time since 2008. Kiser is a second-level eraser who can provide some pass rushing help as a blitzer. Donta Hightower is one of the best linebackers in the AFC. He just needs an effective player next to him.